In the last segment, we built the foundation. We said AI is all about patterns in the data. And we saw that AI is already around us in maps, in social media, in your phone keyboard. But now, let's zoom in into one of the most exciting, most talked about types of AI today. It's the kind of AI that can talk with you, write with you, answer your questions, even help with your homeworks or projects. I'm talking about large language models, or LLMs for short. If you've heard of Gemini, ChatGPT, or Anthropic's Claude, those are all LLMs. So in this section, we're going to unpack what exactly is a large language model. How does it actually work? In simple terms. Why is it so powerful and useful? But also, what are its limits? By the end, you'll be able to explain LLMs to literally anyone. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, without using boring technical jargons. Let's dive in. Okay, let's start with a super simple explanation. An LLM is an AI that's trained on a huge amount of text. So it can predict what word comes next in a sentence. That's it. That's the whole idea. Sounds simple, right? But this simple idea, predicting the next word, turns out to be incredibly powerful. Here's a quick demo. I'll start a sentence. You finish it. Once upon a, you probably thought time. Why? Because you have read and heard that phrase so many times. Your brain predicts the next word. That's exactly what an LLM does, just at a massive scale. Instead of being trained on your personal reading history, it's trained on billions of sentences from books, articles, websites, and more. So when you ask it a question, it uses that training to predict a sensible, fluent response. Now, why do we call it large? Because these models are huge. Think of them like giant brains made out of math. Instead of billion of neurons like we have, they have billions, sometimes trillions of tiny adjustable numbers called parameters. Each parameter is like a little knob that AI can tune to capture some pattern in the language. One knob might help it recognize verbs. Another might help it understand the sentence rhythm. Another might connect words like doctor and hospital. The more parameters, the more complex patterns the model can capture. To give you a sense of scale, early language models had maybe a few million parameters. Gemini, which came out in 2023, has 3.25 billion parameters. New models are even larger. That's like going from a pocket calculator to the world's biggest supercomputer for words. All right, let's peek under the hood. Don't worry, I'll keep it digestible. The magic behind modern LLMs comes from something called the transformer architecture. This was introduced in 2017 in a research paper entitled Attention is All You Need. And that title actually says it all, because the secret sauce is attention. Here is the idea. When you read a sentence, you don't treat every word equally. For example, the cat sat on the mat because it was tired. Question, what does it refer to? Most of us say the cat. Why? Because when you see the word it, your brain pays attention to the word cat earlier in the sentence. Transformers do the same thing. They can pay attention to different words in a sequence to figure out context. That is why they are so good at generating text that feels coherent and natural. So the flow looks like this. You give the LLM a prompt, some text. The model breaks it into tokens, chunks of words. It processes them through layers of attention, connecting words and meanings. It predicts the most likely next token. It repeats this step again and again until it's written a whole response. Simple in concept, mind-blowing in practice. Okay, so we know LLMs are next word predictors at a massive scale. But why is that so revolutionary? Because language is everywhere. Think about it. Your homework consists of language. Your social media posts has language. Business emails, job applications, legal contracts, coding tutorials, all language. Even programming code is a language. So if you have an AI that's really, really good at language, suddenly it can do a ton of things humans need. Let's list a few. Writing and editing, essays, reports, captions, stories, answering questions like a personal tutor, summarizing, turning long articles into short notes, brainstorming, giving you ideas when you are stuck, coding, writing or debugging software, translation, converting between languages instantly. And remember, the LLM isn't thinking. It's not understanding the way we do. It's just so good at predicting the next word that it feels like it understands. Now, here's the important part. LLMs are amazing, but they're not perfect. And to use them wisely, you have got to know their weak spots. Let's go through the big ones. Hallucination. Sometimes an LLM just makes up stuff. For example, you might ask it for a biography of a person and it invents fake details. Why? Because it's predicting words that sounds right, not checking if they are true. Bias. If the training data contains stereotypes, the model can repeat them. Example, associating certain jobs with certain genders. This is why ethical AI is so important. No real understanding. It doesn't know facts like you do. If you ask it, what's 2 plus 2? It will say 4, but it doesn't actually know math. It has just seen that pattern a million times. Dependence on prompts. The output depends heavily on how you phrase your request. Bad prompt is bad answer. We'll dive deeper into this in segment 4 on prompt engineering. Here is a way to picture it. Imagine you're in the world's biggest library. The library has every book, every website, every article you can think of. Now imagine there is a super librarian who has memorized everything. You ask a question and the librarian instantly says, well, based on everything I have read, the most likely answer is this. That's an LLM. It's not giving you personal wisdom. It's not giving you brand new knowledge. It's remixing patterns it has absorbed from the giant library of text. So how you might use an LLM in your daily life? Let's brainstorm. Schoolwork. Not to cheat, but to help. You can ask it to explain tough concepts in simpler words or to quiz you on a subject. Creative writing, story starters, poem drafts, script ideas. Learning a new skill, coding, foreign languages, even cooking tips, communication, drafting emails, resumes, or presentations. Idea generation for projects, businesses, or social content. Think of one area in your life right now where having a super smart writing partner would help. Write it down. That's your personal LLM use case. Let's recap what we have covered in this segment. A large language model is an AI trained on massive text data to predict the next word. Large, billions of parameters, capturing complex language patterns. They work using transformers and attention mechanisms. They are powerful because language is everywhere, so they can help with writing, coding, translation, learning, and more. But they also have limits, hallucinations, bias, no true understanding, and dependence on good prompts. Think of them as super librarian, incredibly useful but not infallible. So now you have got a clear understanding of large language models. You know what they are and how they work and how you can actually use them without falling into the trap of expecting too much. In the next segment, we're going to learn about how machine actually learns and what are its learning algorithms. See you in the next segment, which is about machine learning and its algorithms.